In the gleaming city of Abuja, the towering mansion of Chief Oladipo shone brighter than the sun. Inside, every corner spoke of wealth, marble floors, crystal chandeliers, and polished furniture that reflected the power of a man feared and admired across the nation. Amid all this grandeur worked Amina, a quiet and gentle girl from a small village. She had arrived in the city seeking survival and hope, carrying only a small bag and her prayers. Every morning, she woke before the sun, scrubbing floors until they sparkled, polishing silver until it shone like glass, and serving guests who never spared her a glance of gratitude. Yet, despite her harsh reality, she carried a faint, unwavering smile, a flame of faith that refused to die. One rainy morning, fate took a cruel turn. Chief Oladipo, furious over a spilled coffee and misplaced files, summoned Amina in front of his guests. "You incompetent girl!" he roared, his voice echoing off the marble walls. Her hands shook as the tray tipped, spilling hot coffee across the floor. The guests laughed cruelly, while Amina's tears merged with the liquid, forming tiny pools at her feet. "Get out!" he commanded, his face twisted with rage. "I don't need village girls who ruin my home. Pack your things." That night, under the heavy rain, barefoot and trembling, Amina left the mansion, leaving behind her place of service, but carrying a seed of hope in her heart. As the storm poured down, soaking her thin clothes and chilling her to the bone, Amina whispered softly, "One day, the mighty will fall, and the humble will rise." The words seemed to ride on the wind, invisible and unheard by the man who had cursed her. But deep within her spirit, a quiet power stirred. She didn't know when or how, but she believed that justice, kindness, and destiny would one day restore balance. Her tears that night were not for vengeance, but for the strength she would one day wield. Little did she know, the very empire that had spat on her dreams was beginning its slow unraveling. 2 years passed, and Chief Oladipo's empire appeared unshakable. He purchased new cars, hosted glittering parties, and rubbed shoulders with ministers and diplomats. But behind the facade, fissures were forming. His closest ally betrayed him in a business deal, and his son spiraled into addiction, defying everything Oladipo had built. His wife grew distant, no longer offering the warmth he once commanded. Yet he blamed everyone but himself, berating employees, firing loyal staff, and demanding obedience through fear. Pride had made him untouchable, but pride was also his silent enemy. One afternoon, a major contract fell through. Millions of naira vanished overnight. "Who dares sabotage Oladipo Group?" he shouted, shaking with fury. Yet, the silence from his boardroom spoke louder than any answer. Investigations revealed corruption charges, delayed payments, and mistreatment of staff. Headlines screamed, "Chief Oladipo under investigation." People who had once bowed to him now ignored his presence. Pride had built his empire, but it now became the very weapon that tore it apart. Night after night, sleepless and fearful, he wandered the halls of his mansion, listening to echoes of the past, unaware that the girl he had broken was quietly growing stronger. That night, as rain fell outside, mirroring the storm from 2 years ago, Chief Oladipo sat alone in his study, staring at the floor. The first seeds of fear had entered his heart. How could a man who had once commanded so much now tremble before fate? He couldn't see the hand of karma, only the crumbling weight of his pride. And yet, somewhere far away, a quiet figure in Lagos, Amina, was beginning to bloom into the very force that would soon challenge the life he had once destroyed. Far from Abuja, in the city of Kaduna, Amina began rebuilding her life. She had been taken in by a kind woman, Mama Sadia, who recognized her potential and gave her shelter. Amina worked tirelessly, selling pastries and learning the trade of baking. Her intelligence, discipline, and humility drew attention from a visiting NGO director who offered her a scholarship in Lagos for advanced business training. Her heart fluttered as she accepted, unsure of the future but determined to rise. She dreamed not of revenge, but of freedom, dignity, and success that came without harming others. In Lagos, Amina's journey flourished. She opened a small bakery called Amina's Touch, and her reputation for quality and kindness spread quickly. Investors noticed her determination and invited her to expand. She trained her staff with patience and care, teaching that every worker deserved respect and fairness. Her life became a beacon of hope, proof that strength grows from humility, and that those who persevere in goodness eventually thrive. Every morning, as she kneaded dough and watched it rise, she remembered the mansion in Abuja, the coffee, spill, and the humiliation. But rather than bitterness, she felt gratitude for the lessons learned. By her third year, Amina was no longer a nameless maid, but a young woman of influence and inspiration. Her brand had expanded across cities, and she became known as a voice of hope for young women in Nigeria. She never flaunted her success. Her life remained grounded in simplicity and service. Yet sometimes, on rainy nights, she would close her eyes and whisper the same words from the day she left Oladipo's mansion. One day, the mighty will fall, and the humble will rise. Unbeknownst to her, the empire she had left behind was already shaking, and the man who had cursed her was beginning his slow descent into despair. Back in Abuja, Chief Oladipo's empire was crumbling fast. Creditors called relentlessly. Government agencies froze accounts. His luxurious cars were auctioned. The mansion that once gleamed with pride now stood half empty, echoing with memories of laughter, power, and Amina's tears. Oladipo wandered through abandoned rooms, haunted by his past. For the first time, he realized that wealth and power could vanish in a heartbeat, leaving only the choices he had made. And among those choices, the memory of Amina's eyes, bright with hope, dulled by humiliation, burned most painfully. He tried to reach out to old friends, but pride had already built walls around his reputation. Calls went unanswered, letters ignored. Even his son, lost in addiction and disgrace, refused to answer him. Alone and desperate, he began to understand the cruelty of his past. Hunger, poverty, and shame became his teachers. For the first time, he saw what it meant to be powerless, to be a mere shadow of the man he once believed himself to be. Every night, the echo of Amina's words, "One day, the mighty will fall," haunted him. In a small, rented room, Oladipo knelt by the window, watching rain streak down the glass. He whispered a prayer he had never known the need for. "God, forgive me. Forgive the arrogance that has destroyed my life and the lives of others." The storm outside mirrored the storm within him. Somewhere in Lagos, Amina's hands kneaded dough, shaping the bread of her future. Unaware that fate was preparing a collision between their lives, a reunion neither of them could have imagined. 2 years later, at a business conference in Abuja, Amina was invited to speak about women's entrepreneurship and overcoming adversity. She captivated the audience with her story, sharing lessons of patience, humility, and faith. Cameras flashed as her words echoed across the hall. As she stepped off the stage, a frail figure approached a man she recognized instantly. Chief Oladipo, once towering and proud, now bent with age, weariness, and humility. His suit was threadbare, his shoes worn. The bustling crowd barely noticed him, but Amina froze. He whispered her name, Amina. Her heart skipped. Memories flooded back. The spilled coffee, the rain, the humiliation. She wanted to turn and walk away, yet something held her. He bowed slightly, voice trembling. I have wronged you. I have lived in arrogance and cruelty. Please, forgive me." Amina's heart wavered. The years had hardened some walls, but her faith told her that every heart is redeemable. She did not yet respond. She simply watched as the man she once feared showed the first signs of true humility. The encounter ended quietly. Oladipo lingered at a distance, helping with small tasks at the conference, unnoticed by others. Amina returned home that night, her thoughts racing. Forgiveness was a journey, not an instant gift. But somewhere deep in her chest, she felt the stirrings of mercy. And somewhere, fate smiled. for the first step of redemption for both of them had begun. The following weeks were heavy with reflection for Amina. Each day she returned to her bakery, kneading dough and managing her staff. Yet, the encounter with Chief Oladipo lingered in her mind. She recalled the pride in his eyes once, the thunder of his anger, the spilled coffee, and the humiliation that had driven her into the storm years ago. Yet now, that same man, once untouchable, appeared broken, humbled by life. Amina realized that the past was a shadow long, dark, but powerless unless given space in the present. Oladipo, meanwhile, was learning the meaning of true humility. He volunteered at Amina's charity events, quietly, serving food to orphans, cleaning tables, and lifting boxes without complaint. Each act of service was a painful reminder of the life he had lost. Yet in that labor, he discovered something new, a sense of purpose, a taste of genuine respect, and the light of redemption that comes only when pride is laid aside. Every evening, he returned home to his small room, exhausted but at peace, knowing that work could atone for the arrogance that had once defined him. One rainy evening, Amina stood by her window, watching the water flow along the streets below. She whispered a prayer for clarity, asking whether forgiveness was the path she should choose. At that very moment, Oladipo walked past her window carrying boxes for the foundation, rain soaking his clothes, humility etched in every line of his face. She saw not the tyrant who had ruled with fear, but a man learning the cost of cruelty and the value of mercy. Somewhere deep in her heart, she felt the stirring of compassion, the first real sense of closure since that stormy night years ago. Amina's charity had grown into one of the most respected organizations in Abuja and Lagos. Feeding programs, scholarships, and skills training were changing lives, but her heart remained cautious. When Oladipo approached her one morning, volunteering again, she felt a mixture of anger, curiosity, and pity. He bowed his head, voice soft. "I only wish to serve, not to intrude. Please allow me to help." She studied him carefully. Could a man who had caused such pain truly change? She decided to test him, giving him tasks that no one would envy: heavy lifting, organizing crowded events, and dealing with irritable workers. Oladipo never complained. Day after day, he continued, quietly, patiently, without seeking recognition or reward. Amina watched, noting the sincerity in his eyes, the humility in his posture, and the consistency in his actions. Slowly, the armor of bitterness around her heart began to crack. Mercy, she realized, is not a gift for the weak. It is the triumph of the strong. One evening, after a long day, Oladipo sat beside her in the empty hall. "Why do you continue to serve me?" he asked. She smiled faintly. "Because true strength comes from serving, and true forgiveness comes from understanding." He nodded, tears glistening. "I will never forget what I lost, nor the pain I caused, but I wish to be better." That night, the first seeds of reconciliation were planted, tender and fragile, ready to grow into something extraordinary. Months passed, and Oladipo's transformation became evident to all who watched. He no longer sought wealth, status, or power. His days were consumed with service at the foundation, organizing programs, mentoring youth, and learning humility. The media caught wind of the story. From billionaire to volunteer, the journey of Chief Oladipo. People marveled at his metamorphosis, and some even questioned whether true change was possible. But Amina knew the change was real. Together, they expanded the foundation into remote villages, teaching young women skills, providing education, and feeding the destitute. Amina's leadership and Oladipo's experience complemented each other perfectly. Slowly, their efforts began healing more than just the communities. They healed themselves. Oladipo, once consumed by pride, had learned that respect and dignity cannot be bought. And Amina, once hurt and humiliated, discovered that forgiveness can be a source of unimaginable strength. One quiet evening, after finishing an outreach program, Oladipo approached Amina. "Do you forgive me?" he asked, voice hesitant but sincere. She looked into his eyes, seeing the honesty, the repentance, and the pain endured. Slowly, she nodded. "I forgive you, but not for you, for myself. Mercy is mine to give." Oladipo bowed his head, tears flowing freely. The curse that had begun with humiliation and pain had now transformed into grace, proving that the heart can rebuild what pride destroyed. Years of service and dedication brought a quiet peace to both their lives. Amina's foundation now reached cities across Nigeria, feeding thousands, empowering women, and restoring hope. She never sought fame, yet her story spread of a humble girl who rose from despair to influence, and of a once proud man who had learned humility through suffering. Oladipo continued to serve faithfully, always side by side with her, never claiming credit, always learning from her grace. Amina often reflected on the lessons of her journey. The people we meet, the trials we face, the pain we endure, all these are teachers, she would say. In her speeches and community work, she emphasized that wealth is fleeting, pride is dangerous, and mercy is a strength that reshapes destinies. Oladipo, too, became a living testament to this truth. Once feared and hated, he was now respected and loved, not for his fortune, but for his humility, patience, and devotion to others. One rainy evening, echoing the stormy night she had left Abuja years ago, Amina and Oladipo walked outside. Rain soaked them, but their hearts were light. "Do you remember that night?" Oladipo asked softly. Amina smiled faintly. "Yes, and I remember how God promised that the humble would rise." He nodded, a smile touching his lips. In that rain, the city shimmered not with wealth, but with the light of redemption, mercy, and hope, a lesson for all who dared to witness it. The years had passed, yet the story of Amina and Oladipo became legend. The curse of humiliation and pride had been transformed into a testament of faith, mercy, and destiny. Amina, once a frightened girl with nothing, now stood as a leader, entrepreneur, and guide for countless lives. Oladipo, once feared and arrogant, had discovered the beauty of service, humility, and true redemption. Together, they had not only changed themselves, but the world around them. On a quiet evening, as rain fell gently, they stood side by side, reflecting on the journey. "The curse was never a curse," Amina whispered. "It was a lesson, a test, and God has answered." Oladipo nodded, feeling the weight of the past lift from his soul. The mansion, the money, the power, none of it mattered. What endured was mercy, humility, and the bond forged in the trials of life. The camera pans upward to the Abuja skyline, rain sparkling like diamonds in the light. Amina raises her hands to the sky, tears mixing with the rain. Oladipo stands beside her, eyes closed, humbled and grateful. In the land of pride and power, one girl's tears became strength, and one man's arrogance became a lesson. The curse of Amina was never a curse. It was grace disguised as suffering, teaching that mercy and humility triumph where pride and cruelty fail. Thank you so much for watching this story. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss a new story.